So today we're going to do a one perspective drawing. My finished project turned out like this. You'll need a rectangular piece of paper. This is a regular 8 by 11 or whatever, cut in half, but you can do a full page, and that's what we'll be doing with the example that I'm going to make with you today. So you'll need a piece of paper, rectangular, a pencil, crayons or watercolors, whatever you want to use, and some kind of flat like edge to make a line. You can use a ruler. If you don't have a ruler, you can use the edge of a binder, a book, whatever you have. So you're going to start with your paper and use your flat edge and make a line from this corner to this corner and from the opposite corner to the opposite corner. So you're going to have an X straight through the middle of your paper. So I'm going to do that now. I would make the line light so that if you need to erase it later, you can do that too. Okay. Turns out something like this with an X straight through the paper. Now, the point where your X crosses, that's called the vantage point. So, if you're working with younger kids, you may have them draw a dot. That way they know it's all leading to there. Now, these paintings or drawings can turn out different for every child. It depends on what they want to fill their thing in. I suggest doing a road for everybody through the middle. So maybe and the closer it is to the wider part of the triangle that you're drawing in, the bigger the objects need to be. So if I'm drawing a road and I have the markers through the middle, the larger ones will be at the bottom, and they'll get smaller as they get to the vantage point. Now, on the left side, maybe I want to do some trees. So my larger trees will be farther away from the vantage point, and they'll get smaller and smaller when they get closer. But they can still take up all the room in between the sides. So see, my trees get smaller as they get close to the vantage point, but they still take up all the room on that side. On the other side, you can do a fence with cows and horses. You can do a city like I did in mine. Either way, but it's going to be the same concept, where if you do buildings, they take up the whole space, but they get smaller and smaller as you get closer to that vantage point. So take up the whole room, but they get smaller and smaller. Now in the top frame, you're going to do the sky. So it can be sunset, it can be the middle of the day, it can be in the middle of the night. That's where the children can get creative, and it's totally up to them. So mine's just going to be in the middle of the day. Sun's going to be out like that. So the next step for them would be to color it all in. You want to make sure all the spaces in between the buildings are filled in, all the spaces in between the trees. Everything should be colored in on this page, so that when you're finished, you have a one perspective paint drawing. So it's from one person's perspective coming down the road. All in between my trees are filled in. Behind my buildings there's some grass. My sky is filled in, whatever you like. Alright.